Asset liability management is about balancing strategic risk-taking with profitability. So this doesn't just mean reducing the risk, it means about taking strategic risks. A bank's ALM policy should include deciding what level of risk you want to take and what limits are too high for the bank that you feel comfortable taking. So once the actual limits are set, you want to make sure that there's proper personnel assigned to execute on the strategy that you have decided. Someone needs to decide how to implement the process and the strategy that you've decided. Someone needs to translate the ALM strategy into actionable decisions. And someone needs to take responsibility for what went right and what went wrong. A bank should approach setting risk limits for ALM initially from the board level. The board must ultimately decide and set the overall risk limit policy for the bank. This doesn't just mean an arbitrary sense of, I want to make sure that the bank doesn't take undue risk. Ideally, the limits should be set in a probabilistic fashion. I want to make sure that 99% of the time, the bank's income performance is above a certain level. Stress testing should incorporate a holistic view of interest rate risk, credit risk, and behavioral risk. So for example, understanding the stress test impact on your balance sheet should involve joint scenarios. Not only is there an economic downturn, at the same time there was a rate spike. Behaviorally, there may be situations where many loans happen to default together, or many loans happen to prepay together, or many creditors happen to leave and do deposit or flight together. Combining these behavioral assumptions with economic and interest rate scenarios will allow you to have a complete and holistic understanding of the impact of stress on your balance sheet. This will then prepare you to adhere to regulatory requirements such as Basel III or CCAR DFAST. The board's role differs from the management's role in ALM in the following ways. The board is overall responsible for setting the limits on the risk taken and opening up the strategic space of possibilities that the ALCO can feel comfortable taking. The ALCO is responsible for the day-to-day monitoring of risk metrics and the actual decisioning made on the specific pricing strategies, the specific hedging strategies, and the specific day-to-day actions that are taken in adherence with the ALM strategy. ALM is core to bank strategy. Any change in the bank strategy affects ALM almost by definition. A bank's core activity is taking in and transforming risk. As such, ideally, ALM strategy can influence strategy in turn. What kind of loan mix do I want? What is my pricing strategy for the deposits I pay out? What is my hedging strategy? Markets keep evolving, so you want to make sure that your risk limits continue to evolve with the market. So periodically, your ALM process should include reviewing the latest market information, the latest state of the economy, and reflecting the new limits that will be translated into those quantified policies.